Hey guys, Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films back again with Doctor Who. Last time around was A Christmas Carol. What was that one about?
Well, they land. I can't remember if it's a planet or a spaceship or something. But anyway, there's an old man who literally runs the planet, and it's because he runs it very cruelly, and it's because his father was cruel to him. And the Doctor decides to go back and inject himself into the tapes that he made of himself as a kid and basically show him the error of his ways to get him to be a nicer person. It was a nice little take on Charles Dickens.
Yeah, and it was mainly because there was a ship crashing, and and he was basically just going to let it crash and let all the people on there die. So the Doctor went back to change him through his past. So yeah, that was our Christmas special. Today, we're starting off Season 6, the proper Season 6, and we're starting off with a 2-part episode.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, so it is interesting. This one is interesting. In fact, I believe Episode 2 has a very funny moment from my original reaction to it. And I'm pretty sure it's that episode. We'll talk about it once we get to the end, so... But yeah, Season 6, we still got Amy, now we have Rory as a main companion, and I guess that's pretty much it going into it.
I'm looking at the menu here. I see The Doctor's Wife, which is one we did in our survey when we were going through all of Who.
Yeah, we did.
We started this whole thing.
Yeah, so it's we will rewatch that, and I'm pretty sure like right after that is another 2-parter. So we're still, by the way, working our way through Torchwood. These 2-parters are slowing us down, though. So if you're wondering why it's taking so long for us to get that last Torchwood video, that's what it is. But we're making our way through that, and you'll get that eventually. I don't really have anything else to say going into the season, other than it is the first 2 episodes of the season. Which means the full-length reaction is available for free. If you don't know what that is, why are you new? How on earth are you new here with where we are? Like, this is... this series that we're doing right now, you have to be really in the weeds of the lore of this channel if you're at this point. But, for the potential that you are new here, first off, I have seen all of Doctor Who. He has seen all of classic Doctor Who and Doctor Who modern up to this very episode, with the exception of, we mentioned, a couple episodes like The Doctor's Wife. The full unedited reaction to this episode, or these episodes, are available down on Patreon. All you have to do is sync up your copy of the episode. I can't give you the full episode. I mean, I can, but I don't want to. I probably shouldn't give you the whole episode. So, but we're watching it on the DVDs, and I mean, it's available somewhere. I mean, if you're British, it's on the iPlayer, the awful BBC iPlayer. It might be on HBO Max, which is HBO Max, which is formerly Max, which is formerly HBO Max. So you got to be sure you get all that in there. So, anyway, you can figure it out. You're probably smart. So, and if you don't want to do that, you can always stick around here on the YouTube video. We will have the edited reaction, which is all nice and good and, well, edited.
Shorter, much shorter.
I tend to prefer those anyway. It's funny, I don't watch... first off, I don't watch a lot of other reaction channels anymore, but I also just don't do full-length reactions. It's funny, like, just before this, I was watching I was watching some YouTubers playing this game where it's kind of this goofy little PC game where you drive around in an RV and it's really jank and stuff keeps exploding and stuff. But it was nice because it was originally a stream that they did, but one of them made an edited version of it, which was an hour and a half long instead of being 4 hours long. But I was like, I prefer that. I really don't watch live streams at all. I tend to just watch edited versions of those live streams. So that's the kind of, content that you get here on the YouTube videos is edited, curated, all perfectly made. And, sometimes I'll throw in a goofy edit, if I feel like being funny.
Yes, when are the Chumblies coming back?
They're coming back right here. They're right here, right now. Oh, God, I gotta remember that though. But yes, sometimes I come up with a fun edit to do in these videos. I'm not talking about anything, so I don't know. You got anything else?
2 more performances of Murder on the Orient Express. Then our season is done. We will not have a new season until the new facility is renovated, which at this point looks like it's going to be sometime next summer. So I'm going to have a load of free time on my hand. So,
yeah. So we will probably also, after we finish Torchwood, we'll probably start working on the Sarah Jane Adventures reactions. And we'll pretty much just do them the same way that we're doing the Torchwood reactions. So just at some point, I'll just drop an entire season's worth of content in one video, and you can enjoy that. But again, highly edited and curated for your watching pleasure. So,
sound like one of those old K-Tel commercials on TV back in the 80s.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the kind of YouTube that I prefer, is just highly edited stuff. I mean, it didn't have to be too edited, because obviously once you get to the discussion, we're not edited at that point. I just sort of let it go, even if there's a pause. Like on my own videos, I do cut out when I take a pause. I don't even do that for our videos. So
anyway,
let's get on to these 2 episodes of Doctor Who. Here we go. He's been busy.
The Doctor as Poseidon. Oh, it's the Restoration.
Dr. Song, sir. She's packing. Says she's going to some planet called America.
That looks like places we've been.
It's beautiful.
Hey, nice hat. I wear a Stetson now. Stetsons are cool.
Oh.
Have we done Easter Island yet?
Yes, I've got Easter Island.
They worshipped you.
Oh, they have more adventures.
Have you seen the statues?
Space.
The Final Frontier.
1969.
I had just graduated high school. It was July of 1969. My high school girlfriend and I watched the moon landing in the basement of her house on a probably 12-inch black and white TV.
Smaller than the monitor we're watching this on now.
Oh yes, about half this size.
Oh yeah.
And of course in black and white.
Oh yeah.
And since when do you drink wine?
I'm 1103. I must have drunk it sometime.
Whoa.
Oh, white's horrid. I thought it would taste more like the gums.
1103. You were 908 last time we saw you.
And you've put on a couple of pounds. I wasn't going to mention it.
What's he doing?
It's probably fine. Oh yeah, sorry, it's a regeneration story. I should have told you that. Oh, never mind. It's not a regeneration story.
He said you'd need this.
Viking funeral.
I'm Canton Everett Delaware III.
What a name.
Recognize that actor, but I don't remember from where.
This is cold. Even by your standards, this is cold.
Or hello, as people used to say.
Doctor.
Oh, you bad, bad girl. What trouble have you got for me this time?
Okay.
Oh.
I probably deserve that.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's for something I haven't done yet.
Yes, it is.
Good, looking forward to it.
I don't understand.
Good, it means I don't have to be slapped later.
Someone who trusts you more than anybody else in the universe.
And who's that?
Spoilers.
1969, that's an easy one.
You know, it's easy for him to figure out who hates him, but who trusts him?
Now then, Canton Everett Delaware III, that was his name, yeah? How many of those could there be? Well, 3, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Potentially more if he was as unoriginal with his son's names.
Is everybody cross with me for some reason?
I'll find out.
Good job, Rory.
Usually you don't have all three at the same time, though. I mean, I was the second, but my grandfather, the first,
Explain it again.
died when I was 16.
He's a future version. He's interacted with his own past. He could rip a hole in the universe. He's done it before.
And in fairness, the universe did blow up.
Yeah.
Time isn't a straight line. It's all bumpy. There's loads of boring stuff like Sundays and Tuesdays and Thursday afternoons.
Oh, I love Tuesdays.
Saturdays.
Where are we going?
Home. Well, you two are. Off you pop and make babies, and you Dr. Song back to prison. And me, I'm late for a biplane lesson in 1911.
Oh, he stopped caring.
Knitting or...
Time for an intervention, Doctor.
What? A mysterious summons. You think I'm just going to go?
Well, I mean, yeah, but...
Swear to me on something that matters.
Fish fingers and custard.
Now that matters.
You were my second choice for this, Mr. Delaware.
That's okay. You're my second choice for president, Mr. Nixon.
That's a nice shot.
Richard Milhouse Nixon, Vietnam, Watergate. There's some good stuff too.
Not enough.
Hippie.
Archaeologist.
Every day.
We're in the middle of the most powerful city in the most powerful country on Earth. Let's take it slow.
In the most powerful room.
Oh. Hello.
This is awkward.
River may come blue again! What the hell is that?
What is that box? It's a police box. Can't you read? I'm your new undercover agent on loan from Scotland Yard. Codename The Doctor. These are my top operatives. The legs, the nose, and Mrs. Robinson.
I hate you. Who are you? How'd you get it in here? I mean, you didn't carry it in.
Clever, eh?
Love it.
Do not compliment the intruder.
5 minutes.
Excuse me, is there a toilet or something?
Sorry, ma'am. While this procedure's ongoing, you must remain within the Oval Office.
Shut up and take it to the restaurant.
This is probably why he got kicked out of the
This way.
FBI. Nobody liked him.
Actually, I could usually manage this alone.
I can't remember. I don't think there were female FBI agents in '69. Not a nude.
Well, not a nude,
Or
but...
the lake. No, please, you've got to stay back.
Back, honey? Back from what?
Oh no, it's the gaslighting aliens. Oof. Ugh.
We moved. How? How can we have moved?
We haven't even got to space travel yet.
I was going to cover it with time travel.
Time travel.
Braveheart Canton, come on!
So we're in a box that's bigger on the inside, and it travels through time and space. Yeah, basically.
Yeah, there you go.
Scotland Yard had this?
Eh. Don't think about that part.
Shout if you get in trouble.
Don't worry. I'm quite the screamer.
Now there's a story for you.
So what's going on here?
Rory, would you mind going with that?
Yeah, a bit.
Then I appreciate it.
This looks familiar.
What is this place?
Is this the thing that was in the lodger's upstairs apartment?
There's nothing out there.
It looks pretty similar to that, yeah.
Doctor Who? Exactly.
That's the point. Alrighty.
Okay. Well, once again, that was a lot of exposition, long setup. Obviously, it's all going to be resolved in the next episode. But again, not a whole lot to comment on, other than we've seen this TARDIS-like thing that we saw before in the
Yeah.
lodger. We know that Mr. Delaware survives because he shows up at the Doctor's funeral. Get a little bit more background on River, although they're still not saying that she's a Time Lord, just a time traveler. And the aliens, although they are somewhat like the Ood, they're obviously not the Ood, or if they are, they're a different version of the Ood. So that's basically all I've got at the moment.
Yeah. It is a very interesting, kind of bold premiere to the season, you know?
Yeah.
Especially leaving it off on a cliffhanger like that. Yeah, just sort of setting up what I'm going to be honest is kind of the season mystery of what happened to the Doctor. Why did he die there in 2011? And yeah, where did those 200 years go since he was 200 years older? So yeah, and starting it out with the mystery of the child, tying it into the astronaut, and then being like, well, let's take it back to 1969 and Nixon and Kenton and all that stuff. It's certainly an interesting premiere. So
now I wonder. I don't want to. It's not really similar, but there's a vague connection between this and Men in Black 3, where they were working to make sure the astronauts got safely. I can't remember which astronauts it were. It may have been the moonshot. I think it was, but was it Boris who had attached something to the capsule that was going to go around the Earth and allow all the prisoners to go free? I can't vaguely. I mean, only, but it's that same sort of thing. So this is 2011. I'm wondering when Men in Black 3 came out.
I have no idea.
Okay.
So,
and let's see who the old Kenton Delaware is there. All right. So
yeah, I believe it's his father.
okay,
So
and again, I recognize both of those actors, but I can't remember from where.
oh yeah. So, but yeah, it's just a very interesting start. I debated this entire episode. Do I gaslight you about the silent as they're listed in the credits, or do I not? The thing is, it's a very difficult thing to try to gaslight you over. So, I mean, the funny thing is, that's their whole thing, basically, is gaslighting, is that you completely forget that they exist as soon as you look away. So, but what are they? What exactly are they?
Yeah.
What are they doing here? And this isn't really about the episode, but we talked about Kenton Everett Delaware III. And, you know, it's like, well, how many of those, you know, how many of them could there be? It's like, well, there's at least 3. And, you know, you said they don't normally go one after another. I will say, this is a funny thing, is on The Sopranos, that is like a running thing. It's not really a running joke, but almost every character is either named, like every guy is either named after their father or names their firstborn after themselves. And after like multiple seasons, it's like, oh my god, none of you are original, you know? Because Tony Soprano has that. His son is Anthony Soprano. And, you know, you have a lot of other characters. And there was, you know, one time, you know, one of them was like, you know, yeah, maybe we'll get married and, you know, we'll name our kid Ralphie Jr. And I was like, oh my god, think of something new.
Now,
so
in very wealthy families, like the Rockefellers, I think the last major one was John D. Rockefeller IV. But again, they do that very specifically. Come up with nicknames. We had a friend, you met him. He was the fourth. He was Warner Chappelle IV. But nobody ever called him Warner. He was Chip, because he was a chip off the old block. But again, I understand naming people for someone, not directly after. I'm named directly after my grandfather. I have his exact name. That's why I have to be the second. I had to be legally until he died. Then I never used the Roman numeral again. On the other hand, you and your brother are not named after somebody. You're named for somebody. My father's name was Joseph. Your mother's father's name was Charles. So we decided we were going to try to choose names with the initials J and C. So we chose, and we couldn't find another C, so we use your middle name is your your grandmother's maiden name. She was Margie, so that's why we gave you the R. But also the R is after my name because my first name is Richard.
I might cut that out depending on how I feel about that. There might just be a little too much. You call me the cautious internet user, but I might edit around. You know what I might do? I might just leave that and just beep out every single name that you're saying. But anyway,
well,
but yeah.
But the other thing, of course, and I've told this is one of my favorite history stories. We came up with your middle name, but we could not come up with your first name. I mean, after we had the middle name set, we must have talked 6 to 8 weeks trying to come up with a first name. And one night, your mom turned to me and said, "Who's your favorite character from all of history?" I said, "Well, not favorite, but probably one of the most influential was Alexander the Great." And she said, "Alexander Lemon. I like it. Let's go with that." And I thought, okay, that sounds cool. And then literally like 30 seconds later, I looked up and said, "Aren't you glad I didn't say Charlemagne?" So you could have been Charlemagne Lemon.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could shorten that. You could shorten that to a Charlie or something. Yeah. So, but well, yeah. But yeah. So it's I don't know. Sound off in the comments if you feel like it. Mainly, are you named after someone specifically? Like your full exact name is someone else's full exact name. Like good old Canton Everett Delaware III. That's such a old name too. Like you are not going to catch anyone in 2025 named Canton Everett Delaware anymore.
Yeah.
So
and it's like, what's a nickname for Canton? That makes...
Yeah, it's...
Now, I do know of people, again in the 60s and 70s, whose first name was Everett. There was either a senator or a representative in Congress named Everett Dixon, I think. And of course, I think there was one of the major orators of the Civil War era here in the United States was an Everett, but I can't remember. So anyway, so yes, fascinating how these old names come up like this.
I mean, even like, Richard Milhouse Nixon, yeah. And it's just like Milhouse. Like unless you're on The Simpsons, nobody uses that name anymore.
Well, the character on The Simpsons is named after him, but yeah. If I recall correctly, Milhouse was one of his mother's family's names.
Yeah, so I must say, it's a good actor they have playing Nixon.
Yeah.
So,
which is also reminiscent of X-Men: Days of Future Past, where they have to go back to the time of Nixon because
so
Dr. Trask invents the Sentinels.
Every turning point in history happens around that administration specifically.
Well, so, you want to talk about the reaction to the current president? I got to say, the reaction to the president in 1969 was far beyond anything that we've seen in the current administration, because he was paranoid. I mean, much more so than our current president. But he was also much smarter than the current president.
I remember I had a history teacher in high school where I don't remember what exactly the context was. I mean, it must have been an American history course, obviously, but there was one day where he dressed as President Nixon, and we basically had a Q&A with him as Nixon, and we had to come up with who we're speaking for, who we're asking the question for, who we're reporting for, and I was one of the first one up, and I think I just on the spot made up the Richard Nixon fan club. And he was like, "Oh yes, the fan club is very important." And I think I asked because it was supposed to be, we're asking questions right as he resigns from office, and I think I asked the question do you think the next guy, Ford, right?
Yeah,
Ford will be a good president? He said that's a very good question, and he played the part very well. So I don't remember the context of why we did that, but it was a good day in class, so.
That's got to have been Mr. Gower. He was a great teacher.
Yeah, definitely. So, But yeah, it's an interesting like place to put the Doctor, especially. I mean, especially when the TARDIS is cloaked for the first time ever. He just it's the most powerful city in the most powerful country on Earth, and he walks in to the most powerful room in the middle when no one realizes it. He just gets tackled. But I like because it's interesting how that then plays out, because Canton is like, this guy just walked in here with 3 of his friends and a box and put it on your rug without anyone noticing, and it's just like, we should at least try to figure out why and how he did this. So and then I like that going into Canton. I like how the Doctor says, Canton, under no circumstances follow us, and be sure you close the door when you come in. Like, he knows, but he has to say it. So Canton goes in, and then obviously is just blown away by the TARDIS and how they travel.
And there is one other thing. The Doctor really didn't make a big play of it, but, we did have computers in 1969. The first really big ones, I think, were built in the late 40s or early 50s, but literally the size of a house.
Yeah.
And they always used to tell us when the first home personal computers, PCs, came out, that there is more computational power in the phone that you have in your pocket than was on board either of the vehicles, the lunar lander or the command module that went to the moon.
Yeah.
And you've seen Apollo 13, those guys literally working stuff out with pencil and paper, which today, of course, is all completely computer generated.
Yeah, so it's just like, it's ridiculous. It's also ridiculous that now we don't go to the moon that often. That's just like, what do you mean now? We're perfectly equipped to do that like a trillion times over.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they did it, as they said in Iron Man, is with a box of scraps. They had nothing, and they went and did that. Yeah. So, and it was fine most of the time. So,
well, the main reason to do it now is just for research.
Yeah.
But back then, it was the space race between the United States and everybody else.
Back then, it was bragging rights.
Yeah, it was basically bragging rights. But look at everything that came from it. All of the information, all of the technology used in building both the rockets and the command module and the lunar lander and getting them to the moon and back is what led to home computers and cell phones and internet and all of that.
It's why we're here right now watching this. You're watching this either on your computer or on your phone or something. That'll be the next thing to sound off in the comments. What are you watching these videos on? I generally don't watch videos on YouTube mobile. I watch it on either my computer or on my laptop. But I've got this big old computer tower over here. I've got a phone here. I've got a laptop over there. I've got multiple video game handhelds over there. All of this with more power than they went to the friggin' moon for. So,
and on a personal note, we can thank President Eisenhower, President Kennedy, and President Johnson for that, because it was the 3 of them in succession that said it is the United States' resolve that we will, before the end of the 60s, before the end of the decade, we will put a man on the moon and bring him home safely.
Yeah, so, of course, granted, we didn't actually go to the moon. It was all just staged by Stanley Kubrick.
All right.
So,
but the actors who were portraying Armstrong and Aldrin were such perfectionists that they insisted that it had to be done on location.
Oh, yeah. Kubrick insisted that they had to do it like that, so. I love conspiracy theories like that. Well, and then the other conspiracy, my favorite conspiracy theory about the moon landing, that we did go to the moon, but the footage was faked because we couldn't do anything about that. So the footage you saw that you watched on the 12-inch TV in black and white in 1969, that was fake, what you saw. But there was still someone on the moon at that point. So it's just, you gotta get everything, get everything right. We got another episode to do, so we gotta get to it. And I gotta...
We found Amy Pond. She had strange markings.
Look at that beard.
On her arm.
You're building me the perfect prison.
Well,
And it still won't be enough.
the second best prison.
Looks at everything.
Oh man, Rory died again.
So I guess they can't hear us, right?
Come on, Kenton. Door sealed?
You bet.
Ah, good. It was all a plan.
Things could really do with air holes.
Never had a complaint before.
Oh, good. The TARDIS is here too. Good catch.
Apollo 11's your secret weapon.
No, it's not Apollo 11. That would be silly. It's Neil Armstrong's foot.
Okay, it's the most powerful foot in the universe. Boy, him with a beard is weird. You know, I'm all for a bearded doctor, but I think this one needs to stay clean-shaven.
The problem with that is how long have they had him, because a beard like that would take many, many months.
Yeah.
Even years to grow that long.
Yeah, I'm sure that's a prosthetic they put on him, but...
But, I mean, I realize it's a prosthetic, but how long have they had him that he would have a beard that long?
Well, they said it's been 3 months since the last episode.
It would barely grow an eighth of an inch.
Yeah.
Turns out I was wrong. I'm not pregnant.
I was going to say, it's 3 months later and you don't look any different.
We're leading a revolution. And today the battle begins. How?
It's the most American thing we could do.
Gotta go. Got company. Don't worry, I've everything back the way I found it. Except this. There's always a bit left over, isn't there?
Yeah.
The bats.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
They're just good men doing their jobs.
Carry on, gentlemen. America salutes you.
If you've never seen the footage of the lunar lander taking off, you need to watch it. It's on YouTube. It's just fascinating. This is Arkham Asylum.
This place. It's been closed for years. What are you even doing?
Oh, the child. She must be cared for.
Hey, you gotta phrase that better, buddy.
No, I think she's just dreaming.
Hello? I saw you looking through the hat.
Okay.
What hatch?
What hump?
Right, well, add that to the list. Put a pin in that for later.
How can that be me?
Well, this is awkward.
We have ruled since the wheel and the fire. We have no need of weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, America!
Welcome to America.
Yeah!
Now, if they've been there since the wheel and fire, why haven't the previous doctors encountered them?
Doctor, you have to give me more than this. What will you do?
Maybe they did. He just can't remember.
I need Dr. Shepard here right now.
Sir, I need to talk to Colonel Jefferson right now.
No, you really don't.
I'm President Nixon. I want to tell you, on behalf of the American people, how much we appreciate all of your hard work.
Are they getting the most out of him as an ally?
We know they can influence human behavior any way they want if they've been doing that on a global scale for thousands of years.
Then what?
Then why did the human race suddenly decide to go to the moon?
They engineered the entirety of the Cold War.
It's the Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut Jr.
What is it? It's just an alien, Dr. Shepard.
It's
Someone's
just an
already
alien.
treating it. It's exactly what I needed to hear. This is a video phone. Whatever a video phone is.
Well, he's handling it pretty well.
Just to see your stupid face. My life was so boring before you just dropped out.
And that means you have the stupid face, Rory. No, dang it.
This is kicking the Romans out of Rome.
Rome fell.
I know.
So's I.
Armstrong and Aldrin making their descent to the surface of the moon.
Right, but it was... That was late at night, like 12:30, 1 o'clock, when they landed.
Feel bad for the guy that had to stay on board the ship.
You just raised an army against yourself. And now, for 1,000 generations, you're going to be ordering them to destroy you every day.
And we've got guns.
How fast can you run?
We are not leaving without you.
Just get your stupid face out of here!
You're the one with the stupid face.
There's a reason why I'm shooting, honey!
You need a second gun.
Helping! You've got a screwdriver! Go build a cabinet! That's really rude! Come out and drive!
Oh, it's a good spin attack.
What kind of doctor are you?
Archaeology.
Like Indiana Jones.
Eh.
You call this archaeology?
Him.
Well, you did say dropped out of the sky.
It's a figure of speech, moron.
Well, next time, say who it is.
Dare I ask, will I be remembered?
Oh, yes.
Well.
Tricky Dicky. They're never going to forget you.
Take that as you will.
Say hi to David Frost for me. David Frost.
Oh, nice little
This
throw.
person you want to marry. Black.
Yes, he is.
Oops.
I think the moon is far enough for now. Don't you, Mr. Delaware?
I figured it might be.
If I was pregnant for some of it, wouldn't it have had an effect?
I don't want to tell Rory his baby might have 3 heads or like a time head or something.
What's a time head?
I don't know, but what if it had one?
A time head.
Shut up, bro.
Or we could just go off and have some adventures. Anyone in the mood for adventures? Because I am. You only live once.
Or in your case, 11 times.
Yeah. But
in my case, twice.
Yeah. But only those 11 times. Oh joy, we don't know. Meanwhile,
in New York City. She's regenerating.
Get the hell out of there.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So, a baby Time Lord.
It's something.
Well, it's regenerating like a Time Lord.
Yeah.
If it looks like a Time Lord, and it regenerates like a Time Lord, and it quacks like a Time Lord, and it waddles like a Time Lord, it's probably a Time Lord.
Yeah. She certainly regenerated just there. Yeah. So, that was actually the moment when I originally watched this episode that I just kind of got up and like paced around for like 5 minutes. And then I think what I actually did is I sat down on the floor here and I like took the microphone with me and I just proceeded to do the discussion from there instead. So, a thing that I have done all of 3 times over the course of not just Doctor Who. There was one. It was towards the end of Sherlock. I did that too when there's a reveal in the final season. There, and then there's also a big reveal in the first season of Mr. Robot. And those were the only 3 times where I was just like, you know what? I need to go sit somewhere else. So, yeah. Regenerating little girl.
Alright, so someone who's being kept alive inside of the spacesuit. Don't know if the silence were keeping her there or if she was keeping herself there at this point. Or did they say?
Well, she specifically something from the silence. They kept the children's home where she was staying. She was growing up, and they needed the spacesuit for some reason, which is why all of human civilization has been built up by the Silence to lead to the point where they would go to the moon, so they would have a spacesuit to put on the little girl. Why that is, we don't know as of yet.
And you heard me say, again, that is literally the plot of I want to say late 50s or early 60s novel called The Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut Jr. Literally all of human history is because hundreds of millions of years ago, a spaceship crashed on our planet. The alien who was in the planet knew it could be fixed, but only if it got a certain part. And the alien literally engineers the entire plot of Earth's history so that it will be able to recreate the part that he needs to go away.
Yeah. Now, granted, from what they say, they've been on Earth since the Wheel and Fire, specifically. So they haven't been around, since the time of the Silurians or anything, but only recently with human civilization in the past
8 to 10,000 years.
Yeah, 10,000 years, just about. So, all of that engineered specifically to get a NASA spacesuit for the little girl. But why is that? Who is the little girl?
Well, I have some thoughts, but I'll hold on to them because I don't want to sound crazy.
I mean, I have an idea of what your thought could be. So,
well, I've been saying it all along.
Well, you've been saying something every time the curly hair pops up. If that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but we don't know. Could it be?
It could be. It could be somebody else. But I think that's where the writer and the producers want us to think. I'm just your average watcher. I really am not steeped in the lore of the Time Lords and all that sort of stuff. Just from where
I mean,
I do not analyze it the way some of the fandom does.
Right.
I'm just watching, and I'm saying that as an active audience, listener, viewer, it seems to be that's where they're leading.
It's entirely possible. I mean, the mystery still stands. Now, granted, we have not seen as of yet anything specifically Time Lord related from River. We have no idea if she can regenerate. We don't know any of that. All we know is that she is a time traveler, and generally uses a vortex manipulator or something else, and knows the Doctor at various points in her life, and various points in his life as well. So, in a sense, as of right now, there is not really much connecting River to the child, other than we don't know who either of them truly are.
Yeah.
The little bit that we get is that the child can regenerate, like a Time Lord, and in the room at the children's home, among all the pictures that she had of herself, she had one picture of her as a baby with Amy. And that's it. And Amy doesn't understand that. I mean, we've had the whole thing of, is Amy pregnant? Is she not? Now we have no idea because the doctor scanned her and it's like, she might be, she might not be. We're not really sure. So it's interesting. But as of yet, there's nothing truly connecting River to the child. So, but it's your current theory. So
yeah. And again, to me, this is more obvious than the whole Bad Wolf thing from, what was that, season 1. We've seen River with the 10th Doctor and now with the 11th Doctor. And again, it seems to me that's what they're trying to suggest. Now, that may be a red herring. It may be they're trying to throw us off. But, again, having watched this in sequence now, it seems to me that that's what they're wanting us to think.
Yeah. I will say, this season in particular has 10 mystery boxes going on all at once. It is one of the most in-depth seasons, despite the fact that we will still get our sort of usual one-off adventures, especially next episode and then after that. But there is a lot going into this. I mean, even just down to the fact that it's okay, so we know someone in an astronaut suit kills the Doctor at some point. But how? How did they kill the Doctor? Is the Doctor truly dead 200 years in his future? And to be fair, we don't actually know who was in that suit, you know?
Yeah.
All we know is that the child, the little girl, was in an astronaut suit. So it's possible that she's the child, she's the person in the suit that kills the Doctor, but we genuinely just don't know. So, but there's 10 more mystery boxes going on top of Amy may or may not be pregnant. We don't know. Does she eventually have the child that we see her with the baby picture? It's a whole thing, like, of everything. We joke about there are flowcharts just of River Song's life, and especially now with all the audio dramas that have been happening. But honestly, this season kind of needs that, like, in particular. And after this season, for the most part, they kind of ease back up on it. Like, they just go more for the one-off adventures with a little bit of overarching, but this is like the pinnacle of the overarching story going on. So it's tricky. It's a really tricky season, and it is funny because watching it now for the second time and knowing all the twists and turns, I'm like, this is interesting. It's just like I've never really thought of, because I didn't watch this again, and so now I'm watching this and it's like, what an interesting thing. I wonder how many things you can pick up on first viewing of this episode. Yeah. So I pretty much I picked up nothing. Everything that they set up was almost like one ear out the other when I watched this. So it's tricky. It's a very, very tricky thing. So, but for the other stuff of this episode, I like that they do incorporate sort of a horror angle with the silence. Because to me that feels like when they go to the children's home and there's a storm outside and it's creepy, there's just blood scrawlings on the wall, and this guy's like, the kids do that, I try to clean it up, and he doesn't remember anything, and the silence are incredibly creepy. To me, that is all classic Moffat. Like, there are a lot of times where you get a lot of these episodes during his actual tenure where it's like, I don't want to say it's bad or anything, but there are some times where I'm like, it's kind of lost that vibe that I feel like he originally had when he did, The Empty Child 2-parter with the Ninth Doctor, or Blink, obviously, or even the Library 2-parter was sufficiently creepy. So I like incorporating some of that in there. Yeah. And going around figuring out, okay, what's going on? There's a children's home. How does this relate to the little girl? And, going into her room and being like, I don't know, can we glean anything from this? And then on top of that little moment before Amy goes in there, where just like a little thing slides open, woman with an eye patch is there. It's like, no, she's just dreaming. Closes it. And it's just like, what was that? Come on. What was that? So yeah, there's so much in this season.
Now, again, I may have been concentrating on the wrong thing. Did the silence ever say how they got to Earth and why they were ultimately there? I mean, obviously they're there to get this.
Yeah.
But how they came there in the first place?
No, there's no explanation of why the silence is here on Earth. Just that they came here and they've guided human history for 10,000 years. Leading up to, at least what the Doctor claims is leading up to humanity going to the moon, thus creating a spacesuit that they need. But we don't know why, we don't know what for, we don't know if that's actually their goal or anything, so it's all still, the silence is still very much a mystery. So, but I will say it is a very clever solution of like, okay, well, how do you get rid of them, Because, I mean, it's exactly what the Doctor said. It's like, kicking the Romans out of Rome. And it's like, okay, Rome fell, but that's a bit of a process. And even then, it's like, Rome fell, but Italy was still there.
Yeah.
People were still there.
And the Roman Empire, the Greeks under Alexander and then the Romans under the Republic and then the Empire, literally I can't remember who said it, but there's a famous quote that literally, out of the fall of the Roman Empire, the modern world emerged. All of the advances that they made in building and civic engineering and all that sort of stuff. The Roman language spread across Europe, influenced French and Spanish and Portuguese and Italian, Romanian. Then ultimately, because of the influence of the Roman Church, that Latin also then began to spread to Germany and to the British Isles and to all that. And ultimately, there are so many Latin words that we use in the English language today, or derivatives of the Latin. So yes, the Roman Empire was the consolidation of essentially the Western world. And when it fell, even though it took hundreds of years to get back to that point, especially with the help of the Arab and Muslim world, which were having a renaissance of their own long before the Europeans did, and the Chinese influence. Once that all came together, then we have the modern world that we have today. But there's one of the things that I tried to teach students when I was teaching world history is that Alexander the Great was the first one to try to combine Northern Africa, Europe, Western Asia, and even as far as the Indian subcontinent into a single kind of civilization. And then the Romans took that over, and then, again, all of that just spread everywhere. So.
Yeah. But it's a very clever way of like, okay, well, what do you do about these guys? Especially when there's so many of them. And they seem to be influencing, like, every human on Earth. But just putting in the thing that everyone on Earth will watch at some point. Is there anyone on Earth who has not seen footage of the moon landing? And the thing is, because even if you have like an edited version, nobody's going to edit, in the middle of the sentence, because they get it right in the middle of what he says. It's one small step for man, cut, you should kill us all on sight, back, one giant leap for mankind. No one's going to cut around that sentence like that. And even then, even if you try and you see it, you're not going to remember it's in the middle of that. And it is the most perfect thing. And honestly, it is a little crazy because it's like, well, does that mean every human on Earth has killed some of the silence? Now, I think it's more of a, in the explanation of, once the Doctor does that, and the human race does start attacking the silence thanks to that, thanks to the suggestion, then all the silence get out of there. So I don't think anyone, I don't know if you in 1969 specifically killed one of the silence and you just don't remember.
I just don't remember it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Nobody remembers it. The only thing, for that, like the one guy in the White House, he's going to realize he's down one bullet, basically. Yeah. So.
Now, historical footnote there. Years later, Neil Armstrong essentially said that people had misinterpreted what he said. And he couldn't fully say whether it was his fault or the transmission of the radio signal, but what he had meant to say, loud and clear, was that's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. But the word "a" got left out, so that's why we now hear one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Yeah, so I think it's entirely possible that it was the audio equipment on there. Because you can hear like the sort of popping in the audio and some of his words being just slightly cut off. So.
And there's also, I always thought there's a linguistic thing there too, because unless you enunciate, that's one small step for a man. Most people would say "furra." One small step for a man, one giant leap for. Then you can't say mankind, just for mankind.
Yeah.
So, he may have accidentally rushed that, and that's why we don't literally hear the "a" in there.
Yeah.
For a man.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's the ultimate way of getting rid of the silence is just putting it in something that guarantee, unless like maybe the Amish are innocent in all of this, but even then, don't the Amish like once you get to a certain age, don't you go out just to see if you want to go out into the world?
Yeah.
And then some people come back. So it's entirely possible in that time to be like, hey, you gotta go check out the moon landing.
And I'm sure that there are, Aboriginal people and people in all the continents who basically have never seen television, don't know literally anything outside of their own culture. In the Amazon rainforest, in parts of the United States and Canada, there are literally untouched Aboriginal people everywhere in the world. But they're also likely to not have been affected by the silence because
would the silence have bothered manipulating them at all? So for the most part, it would be in more powerful nations like America, especially because of the Cold War. Obviously, there are probably a number of silents that were in Russia as well. So it makes you wonder: did they have to translate the message specifically? Like when it's on Russian TV, I don't know.
Does it automatically become Russian in the subliminal message? Probably.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's a thing of like the silence probably have it's probably some telepathic thing specifically, so even a video recording would put the telepathic suggestion in the mind, even if it's a different language. So
or the TARDIS translated it.
Yeah, so also sound off in the comments. This is like the 4th time I've told you guys to do this, but if you were living in Russia in 1969, did you watch the moon landing? If any of you actually say you were, that will be very impressive. So,
comrades, tovarich.
Yeah, so but that is the beginning of season 6 of Doctor Who. Are you excited?
I am. It's good. I'm enjoying it.
We've got a lot of stuff in this season. It is going to be, I'm going to admit, it's a bit of a mess, but I think it's a good mess.
And one last little comment. It makes me wonder then, the guy who set up our tour of all of New Who, why did they choose the Doctor's wife?
The Doctor's wife is luckily one of the few episodes where it just doesn't have
the rest of the story.
Yeah, it really doesn't have anything. I don't even think they reference, whether or not Amy is pregnant. So it's like that might just be the one episode. Because, otherwise, you could go with Vincent and the Doctor from last season, or there might be 1 or 2 things from season 7 that you could go with, but this season's pretty stacked. This one in particular, but the Doctor's wife is again one of those sort of one-off episodes, and the next episode two mostly is very self-contained as well. So,
and again, now that I know the story going in here, maybe the idea was they're trying to take the audience in another direction. When you see the title of the next episode is The Doctor's Wife, your first thought is going to be, oh, it's River.
Yeah, that's true. Because that definitely sounds like it could be an episode about River specifically. So yeah, we have a lot in store for this season, definitely. So, but that is basically it. With all of that being said, we're Alex and Dad from 7th Hour Films, and we will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of our modern Doctor Who reactions, as well as another playlist with every Doctor Who video that's on the channel. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.